Yeah, come vibe again.
I don't
know, yes, sir. I
don't know, yes, sir.
Don't know, yes, sir. On
video no masa, ni video no.
Jadi bebrebe ya odi akọ. Yeah. Me sir. Anya mi there.
Anya dia, onya na usuka no. Huh? Police officer, who you say? Huh? Police officer, who you say? We must stop that. Policeman, we must stop that. Huh? We must stop that. Policeman. Huh? Anya dia, one usuka no. Anya usuka no. Huh? Policeman. As a police officer, policeman. Masa, moto no. Sorry, you have call.
Hello, Agman. Can an accident or no money near upon an accident? Move ahead. Police. Bame. It's bad go, huh? You. Okay.
That's a video from the Volta region after police officer Sergeant Luchu Agbeko was arrested on Tuesday for possessing substances suspected to be Indian hemp. The officer, who is stationed at the formed police unit in Accra, refused to stop at a police barrier and have a Volta region when he was signaled by officers on duty. As a result, the officers on duty pursued the suspect, who was later involved in a crash at the Privet Mountain. 84 parcels of compressed dried leaves suspected to be Indian hemp were retrieved from his car. We can now get onto Zoom and speak with Dr. Jones Opokuwari, who is a criminologist and lecturer at the Sociology Department of KNUST. I'm grateful for your time, Doc, this afternoon. Let me pick your preliminary reactions to a policeman caught in possession of narcotics.
Well, thank you very much, and a very good afternoon to you, Aisha, and also to all your viewers. I think in the first instance, what I want to say is that it's quite worrying, and it's an action that is very reprehensible. And for me, it shows the kind of indiscipline that some people within the police service, have over the years been exhibiting, which they have used the institution of the police as a way to protect them, as a facade to protect some of the criminal acts that they engage in. So it is a very reprehensible act. It is something that all well-meaning Ghanaians must actually stand up for and speak against. All over the world, the police as an institution is considered a moral institution. A moral institution in the sense that every member of society is deemed to be a likely deviant. And therefore, the institution of police is the one that is supposed to put members of the society in terms of correcting them and making them to behave in a way that is morally upright. So if you have members of the police who are supposed to be morally upright and ensure that the law is adhered to and people do what is right, they themselves getting involved in some of these criminal acts, then it is something that all of us will have to be very worried about.
Recently, we've had to blame the police for various degrees of errors. I mean, the recent being the interdiction of some senior police officers for unprofessionalism. What is wrong with our recruitment system, Doc?
Yeah, what is wrong is that we have allowed the police recruitment process to be tampered with by people who have no business, getting into it. For instance, we have all sort of politicians and interested group of people who seems to, use the police as an institution to protect their power and also to use members of the police service to protect some interest that they have. And that is why they go all length to make sure that they get their guys in there so that those guys in there will be able to protect those interests that they have. At the end, what happens is that instead of having very good people, very, well-refined people who have passion for the job, who understands what it means to be a police, in the service, we have all these kind of crooks and people with very bad backgrounds and people with certain questionable character and integrity getting into such a moral institution that is supposed to ensure that law and order is maintained within the society. So it is actually a reflection of the bad, recruitment practices that has been, put in place over the years by the police administration and also tampered with by certain political and other, interest groups that is producing the kind of policing we are seeing now.
What should be the ideal situation, if I may ask?
Yeah, the ideal situation is that, look, we should allow the police as an institution to refine their whole recruitment process so that people who get into the security service, especially the police, are people of very good background and, with very good character. The system should be such that before you get into the service, you must have undergone certain refined and, very refined process. That will be able to refine the individual to understand the kind of job the person is supposed to do. And the necessary background checks well done to ensure that we don't find anybody who thinks that he needs just a job, who thinks that, look, he just wants to find himself or herself in an institution that can help me to perpetrate his interest. Look, I have talked to a number of people within the service, even including other security agencies, where they will tell you that, look, for them, they want to join the police. Some even say we want to join the immigration service because we want to do car business. Some people say we want to join the police because, we want to be able to settle certain scores. That is not a mentality that anybody should encourage, especially if the person wants to work as a law enforcement officer. So for me, the process needs to be refined, where it is independent of these political actors, and then we make it more professional and more refined. We can start from the universities, where people who have learned, look, I teach criminology in the university, and when I look at my students, I see the passion with which many of them want to work as police people. But then the issue is, these kind of people, based on the knowledge they've gotten, all the knowledge that they've gotten, when they finish school, would they be allowed to get into the police or the security agencies? I mean, the answer we all know is probably a no, because many of them might not even have the political connections to get in. If you have a structure like that, it is quite problematic. So it is no wonder we are seeing what we are seeing.
Well, the two officers who arrested their colleague for the possession of Indian hemp have been promoted. Let me share with you details of a police statement announcing their promotion. And it says the police administration has promoted two officers, Inspector Azuma Komla Justice and Felix Diame, for their role in effecting the arrest of the Sergeant Lochu Agbeko, a police officer stationed at the formed police unit in Accra. The suspect, Lochu Agbeko, failed to stop at the police barrier when he was signaled by the officers on duty to do so. He was therefore giving a chase, and on reaching a section of the road on the Kweve Mountain, he was involved in an accident and had a fracture on his left hand. He was arrested and sent to the hospital for treatment, and he has since been transferred to the police hospital for further medical attention, where he is under guard. Now, the police retrieved 84 parcels of compressed dried leaves suspected to be Indian hemp from his car. The exhibits have been retained and investigation continues. The suspect will be put before the court as soon as he is discharged from the hospital. We commend the driver who availed his vehicle to the police to chase and arrest the suspect. We once again commend the police officer for their patriotism, vigilance, and dedication to duty. Well, Dr. Jones Opokowari, if you're still there, there are many who are worried that, yes, they are promoting these two officers, but putting their details out is not good in terms of security. Do you feel same?
Well, I'm thinking that in terms of the officers involved, we could have probably hid their identity and probably told the members of the public about the fact that those officers who effected the arrest may have been promoted. I mean, I don't see how others will begin to look at those guys. But trust me, we must commend, those two police officers for the kind of bravery and patriotism that they exhibited. I mean, these are guys within the police, even though we still have certain structural constraints and issues with the way the police function, they are still very good guys who understand their job, who understand what it means to be a policeman and to maintain law and order, irrespective of who is involved. And on that basis, I think that, look, giving them all the accolades and putting out their names out should be able to serve as some form of motivation to other officers within the service. That, look, when you are able to do good and ensure that you do your work well, the institution of the police service is likely to reward you and to give you all the kind of praise. And even in the public eye, you are more likely to see more favorable rating from the public. And for me, to that extent, there's nothing really wrong. What I'm only praying about is that members of the police service themselves will not begin to target these people for standing out for what is right.
I'm grateful for your time, Dr. Jones Opokowari. He's a criminologist and lecturer at the Sociology Department of KNUST.